Thanks, Phil. Hi. So, as Phil said, I work at the MIT Press. We are a nonprofit university press. We are affiliated with MIT, the institution. We publish about 250 books per year and about 30 journals, and I am the journal's marketing manager. So much of what I do and what I'm going to discuss here is looking at the impact of our journals program. About half of our journals are in the arts and humanities, and then the other half fall into economics, science and technology, and international affairs. So, oh, weird, my slides didn't look like that before. All right, so that's fine. Okay, if anyone was in the researcher panel earlier this morning, I see a lot of heads nodding, yeah. So you will know that citation counts and download counts still reign supreme. Altmetrics are not a replacement for citation counts, and I'm not advocating that anybody retire the impact factor. But what I will advocate for is that publishers expand the types of data that they look at so they can understand more clearly the kinds of ways people are engaging with their content. And understanding the scope of that engagement. Oh no, it's fine, I'm good. I'm still, thanks, Paul. So understanding the scope of that engagement can help a publisher flesh out user demographics, better target its promotions, develop new products, and ultimately grow its business. Yeah, okay. So this is the essential message of altmetrics, right? That impact can take many different forms. And publishers can now examine those forms through a variety of tools and resources. It's not just the altmetric.com donut. We've been talking about that a lot, and we do use that at the MIT Press, but there are other ways of looking at altmetrics. So most people will agree that altmetrics are viewed. So these are the PDF downloads. These are the HTML full-text views of your articles. And any publisher will know you can get those sort of counts through your platform provider. You can get them through any aggregators on which you might also have your content, so Project Muse, JSTOR, those sorts of things. Altmetrics are discussed. Sorry, oops. Altmetrics are discussed. So these are online comments. These are blog posts. These are mentions on Wikipedia. These are tweets, as we discussed a few times. These are chatter on Facebook and other social media. As a publisher, you can get info from those tools through altmetric.com if you're using them. You can also get them through the social media feeds themselves. Altmetrics are saved, so whenever a scholar uses Mendeley or other social bookmarking tools, that creates a bit of data that you can look at. You can get that through the tools themselves. You can also see those things through Google Analytics, which is a free, very robust tool that everybody would have access to. Altmetric.com, Plum Analytics. Obviously, we're talking about citations. These are citations in the scholarly literature. So Web of Science keeps track of that most famously, also Crossref, Scopus, those sorts of things. As a publisher, I get that information every way I look. Altmetrics are shared and recommended. So there are a lot of social sharing tools available. A lot of publishers use them on their websites so that a scholar with one click can share an abstract through email or social media, and we can keep track of those. And altmetrics are recommended. These are peer-to-peer recommendations. There are some very formal tools for that. Faculty of 1,000 has Faculty of 1,000 Prime, which is peer-to-peer recommendations of scholarly literature. So at the MIT Press, my team has been looking at altmetrics for a couple years, and it has radically shifted the way we approach our marketing and product development work. In a lot of ways, we were flying blind when it came to understanding the interests of our readers. Today, altmetrics allows us to listen and respond to our readers and to do so in an accurate way. So previously, we promoted items that we, the publisher, thought were particularly attractive, and the special products we were creating were all items that we thought would sell. We essentially told our customers what we thought they should read, and we hoped that they agreed enough to then purchase that product. So with altmetrics, we can finally hear what it is our customers actually want to read and hear how they actually feel about the content. Altmetrics illuminates the blind spots. So the most significant feature we've launched since delving into the world of altmetrics is our batches program. About 18 months ago, we were trying to solve a few problems, and these might be familiar problems for other publishers in the room. How do we expand our presence in the e-reader market? How do we prove to our readers that we understand and appreciate them? How can we promote legacy content? And what do we do with all that altmetrics data that's rolling in? So we found a way to address each of these questions with a single product. In May of 2014, just a year ago, we launched Batches. And our standard marketing message for Batches is that they are themes picked by our readers, articles curated by expert voices, in collections bundled for immediate download. Phil, I can't see my notes. How do I get the
you
mouse?
can scroll. If you can find the mouse, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
You can scroll down there.
Thanks, Phil.
There
Okay.
you go.
Sorry about that, folks. Okay. So our readers pick the themes by doing what they're already doing with our content, which is viewing, sharing, citing, saving, and discussing it. Through altmetrics, looking at altmetrics data, we can see what topics are trending. So once a popular topic is identified, we reach out to our editors who specialize in that field. And that editor curates a list of 8 to 12 articles on a particular theme and composes an introduction explaining the importance of those articles to that theme. Then we convert those articles. They're usually in PDF format, so we're converting them to EPUB. We sell them on Amazon via the Kindle store for $6.99 a pop. Here are a handful of our batches. It's still sort of a new program, so we have 8 available at the moment. We have 2 more in the production phase. You can see a wide variety of themes here, and I admit, with the exception of the spies topic, which I am personally interested in, I would not have picked any of those themes for a product. These all came up through data. These were all surprises to us, things people were really interested in and really talking about. And we've received really positive feedback from batches from both the media and from our readers. Some things people have been saying: they're attractive and sensibly designed. They're a fascinating collection of articles. The compilations hang together better than compilations often do. They're an essential addition to one's library, and awesome. And I am particularly proud about these comments because, to me, they say that we've really nailed the theme identification, and they speak to the work we do in curating a cohesive collection. Internally, the feedback is also really good. We're seeing average sales that are 2 to 4 times as high as the regular issue Kindle sales. We have really happy authors. They really like that their work is being used in a different way, and each batch has an ISBN, so now they have another ISBN to put on their CV. Our editors really love this as well. It's a chance for them to highlight classic or seminal pieces that may have gotten lost over the years. And if we tag them to be the curator for this particular article, they feel really great because that makes them the expert in the field. And then leaving batches aside, there are several other products and features that we've either launched or improved because of the information we've learned looking at altmetrics. One of the facts we know about our website now is that the majority of our visitors are entering our site at the abstract page or at the article level page. They're completely bypassing our homepage, they're bypassing our journal homepages, they're bypassing the about pages. So we changed things, we optimized them. We put a whole bunch of new digital advertising spaces on the abstract pages, on the table of content pages, in our table of contents email alerts, and someplace else. Oh, and the mobile version of our site as well. I mentioned social sharing. We do have, MIT Press now has social sharing buttons on each of our abstract pages. And because that generates data, we launched a new publicity feature called MSA Monthly, which is just most shared article monthly. And we've sort of been pushing it as a contest. So halfway through the month, we see what's getting the most shares. We announce that on social media as if it's sort of a race. And we can see more sharing happening because of that. From the Archive Friday is a feature we've had for a while. We take a single article from the depths of our online collection and make it free for 1 week. And previously, my team were picking articles that had to do with historical anniversaries or current events or things that we thought were interesting. And we're all liberal arts majors, so we were picking humanities and arts and design and stuff like that. And then we would sometimes pick a science article. Those would get way more play than anything we were picking. So we started pushing more science content out through the From the Archive Friday feature. And we are very soon launching Spotlight on Science. So we'll be reaching out to some of our editors and our authors and other researchers in the field to speak about our science content from their point of view, since we can't do it ourselves. And then we have a monthly or bi-monthly newsletter that goes out, and it's called Journals in the News, and it's just a recap of everything that we're doing in the journals program. So it is attending conferences and exhibiting places, and if we win awards, we mention that as well. But there's also a whole slew of data that we pulled together from looking at altmetric.com and other spaces about who's talking about our journal, you know, what press publications are covering this, what people are saying, and why it's important. And this goes out to the entire MIT Press. It goes out to all of our sales reps, and it goes out to a handful of other supporters of the MIT Press. And there are a few more benefits. Some of them are tangible, some of them are more intangible. We have increased advertising revenue. So I mentioned we opened up new digital advertising spaces. I'm pretty close with a lot of other university presses, and I know everybody is losing advertising dollars. We've actually been able to increase them recently with these new spaces. If you're into, if you provide reporting to your editorial offices, half of our journals at the MIT Press are owned by sponsoring bodies, associations, and societies. We have to do a lot of reporting for them every single year. We've been able to add information to those reports so that they can have a better sense of their content in the wider world. If you like immediate gratification, altmetrics are probably for you. You can really quickly see how people are engaging with your content and how they're also engaging with your messaging. There's what I like to call the Jed Clampett effect. There's this feeling that you've discovered this amazing, crazy resource, and it's deep and it's wide, and you can tap it. And it's really energizing for me to think about ways that we can continue to improve our existing products and what new things we can create looking at this information. And last but definitely not least, it's provided a boost in morale for the staff, particularly in the journals division, but across the MIT Press. It's really easy to get lost in the day-to-day work that you're doing as a publisher. And you know, if you're maybe in a production role, you're pushing papers around all day, you kind of forget that your stuff gets out there in the big wide world and people are doing things with it. So, you know, altmetrics lets us see, you know, where in the world people are touching our content, and it makes us feel connected, and it renews our pride in our work. And that's it. So happy to take questions now or later.
If there's a question or so just for Jill, while all the rest of the speakers, if I could invite you up to sit in the panel, just in case we have enough time. We have a little time for perhaps a little bit of a group discussion. But any questions specifically for Jill?
How did the altmetrics data itself actually go into make those matches? Or was that process just the interaction from individuals, which could have been created by surveys or something other than the altmetrics data itself?
So it did come directly out of altmetric.com specifically. So my staff and I get on that space, the altmetric.com Explorer, very regularly. And we kind of see which of our articles are getting a ton of traffic, and we watch them for a little while. You know, we watch them over a period of weeks. So sometimes things spike really dramatically, and then that's kind of it. But the SPIES batch, which I mentioned as being my personal favorite, happened because our Journal of Cold War Studies, which is kind of a dry journal, published this amazing piece about how the CIA partnered with the author of the James Bond books, Ian Fleming. Thank you. Ian Fleming. Ian Fleming was actually working with the CIA to develop technologies that could be used for spies. So it published this article, and it blew up, and everybody was talking about it. It was in the media, it was, you know, online, and people were sharing this article and downloading it in like crazy numbers. And aside from the downloads, we would not have any idea about that chatter if we weren't looking at altmetric.com. So altmetric.com provided that starting point for that particular collection on spies. No, we're not taking recommendations from our readers. So the way the readers pick the themes are by doing what they're doing with our content, and then we see that. Okay.
No. Amy.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. Do you see the altmetrics program and other social media stuff that you're doing influencing the book program?
I missed half of your question, I'm sorry.
I was asking about altmetrics, use of altmetrics, and other social media approaches to marketing journal content influencing the book program.
Yes, in a little bit. The journals division is smaller, so we're a little more agile, and if we see things we want to try, it's a lot easier for us to just be like, hey, we're going to try this thing. And then our books colleagues who are a little bit bigger kind of see what we're doing, and then we'll take it from there. I see them doing more with targeting their advertising in really smart and interesting ways based on the data that they're seeing. I don't think they're doing any direct product development out of the altmetrics research that they're doing yet, though. But yeah, there is some give between there.
All right, well, thanks very much, Jill.
Sure.
If you want to sit down there. So we have about 15 minutes left, so I'd like now to kind of have a little bit more of an open discussion in what little time we have. So does anybody have any questions that come with the whole panel and kind of get a little bit of a discussion going? So before you speak, can you introduce yourself and say where you're from, please?